Good morning, guys. Welcome to Social Studies. Our topic today is what causes climate? We are going to talk about factors that affect climate. If you remember the difference between climate and weather, weather is the condition of the air at a specific time and place. And climate is the average or the conditions of the atmosphere over a long period of time. Why are there climates different? Why are their climates different? Why? Because of the location, because of that position, right? Because of that position, that's why. So, copy the information that is inside the box, please. Inside the box, only the information that is inside the box. The climate of a place depends on its location. Depends on its location. I have 3 students with camera off. I need to know if you have problem with the internet. Swag, Ivana, and Daniel. Did you have problem with the internet? Okay. Thank you. Daniel?
Please only copy that is the
Information.
The information in the box. Red.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
That's the information you have to copy. Again, the climate of a place depends on its location. One factor is the distance a place is from the equator. The distance a place is from the equator. Okay, Daniel. That's the information we have to copy. As you know, are you understanding right now? No, but Earth map might be blue. Okay, I'm gonna put it in blue. Okay, in blue. So remember that the equator is an imaginary line that divides the Earth into two hemispheres, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. And here says that it says that the climate of a place depends on its location. And one factor that affects is the distance. And one factor is the distance a place is from the equator. So Honduras is located more or less here, close to the equator. So,
finish to copy, Miss.
So the climate is hot. Our climate is tropical. Remember that the equator, as I said before, is an imaginary line that circles Earth halfway between the north and the south poles. The warmest climates are in places nearest to the equator. So the nearer you are to the equator, the hotter the climate is. These areas are usually warm all year.
Because I'm gonna go to the United States to see the snow in Christmas.
Oh, that's good for you.
But I'm not gonna do it in this year because this year is the los 15 of my big sister.
Your sister turns 15 this year? Monse turns 15 this year? Okay, finish, right? So this is the first factor. Second factor that affects climate is how far.
Information in the box.
Exactly, that's what it says copy. That's the instructions I gave. A second factor that affects climate is how far a place is from a large body of water, such an ocean. The weather in front of the ocean, when we go on vacation, is different from the weather we have here in the city. Over there is hotter. It is hotter during the day. Yeah.
I know finish to copy the
In the class of Ciencias Sociales, I'm gonna have bad dreams.
Okay. Iris, you didn't finish copying the first part?
I know finish to copy.
Okay, class, let me show this information too. But you only have to copy the information inside the box, not everything. Wait, please. Iris?
Oh, I can't copy the box.
No, just the information inside the box, and I say it since the beginning. I gave the instruction, copy the information inside the box. Okay, so a second factor that affects climate, as I said it before, is how far a place is from a large body of water, such as an ocean. So I was mentioned that when we go on vacations and we go to the beach, that it is very hot. But of course, if we are in a pool, we don't feel the weather. We don't feel the temperature, especially if we have in a pool. But it is hotter than our city, than temperature of a normal city. It is hotter. Places near an ocean usually have a warmer climate than places far away from it. Land heats and cools faster than water. This is interesting. When, for example, today, the weather here in my house is pretty cool. And if I am walking barefoot, descalza, the floor is very cold. And look what it says here. Land heats and cools faster than water. La tierra y el agua se calientan o se enfrían faster than water. That's what it says here. So that's why when the temperature is cold, the house gets very cold quickly. And when the temperature is hot inside the house is very hot. So in summer, water is cooler than land. In winter, the land is colder and the water is warmer. Interesting, right? Factor number 3. The third factor that affects climate is elevation. Elevation. How many of you have visited El Picacho?
Me?
Yeah? Okay. El Picacho.
Me, Ivana.
When you are here, sometimes when we go out of the house.
Finish the other part.
This one, but you only have to copy the information inside the box.
Yes.
And you haven't finished?
Yes, I'm finished.
Okay, so as I was saying, sometimes when we are at home and we are going out in the house, sometimes we don't feel cold and we think that it's not necessary to wear a sweater. But imagine that you are not wearing a sweater and you are going to El Picacho. When you are there, up there, the wind blows a lot and the weather is different. Why the weather is different? Because El Picacho is a high place. So the elevation makes the place cooler. And our houses, of course, are down in the city. You don't feel the wind that blows.
Well, your house is in a hill.
My house, yeah, my house is on a mountain, right? And yeah, during the night, because I used to go to walk at night, I go to walk for an hour and a half. And yes, it is pretty cold. It is, well, not frozen, but is colder than the temperature in the rest of the day. But it's very, it is very nice. It's agradable. So what is elevation? The third factor that affects climate, right? Elevation. But what is elevation? Elevation tells how high a place is above sea level. Above sea level. So sea level, el nivel del mar, that's the beginning point. Ese es el punto de inicio. So everything is measured from above, from sea level. A partir del nivel del mar, de ahí miden todo, la montaña, todo. Ok, los edificios. So, un edificio could be 100 feet above sea level. Son 100 pies sobre el nivel del mar. So everything is measured using sea level. Mountains climate are generally colder because the temperature is lower. Lower, the higher you go. So you are climbing a mountain, and the higher you go, the temperature gets colder. And up you go, and the temperature gets colder. And it's more cold and colder every time. So that's why some mountains has snow only on the tip of the mountain. Solo en la punta you can have, or you can see snow because of the elevation.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This is the third paragraph of
This is the third factor, says here. The third factor that affects climate is elevation. So very high mountains can have snow and ice throughout the year, but just in the tip of the mountain. So let's make a review. What is the first factor? The first factor is
the distance. The place depends on the location.
okay, Santiago, say it again, please.
A climate of what is the distance a place is from the equator.
The equator, exactly. Factor number one, the distance a place is from the equator. Good job. That's the first factor. Factor number two, Swan.
A second factor that gets climate is how far is a place from a large body of water.
Large body of water. That's the second factor. How far a place is from a large body of water. And the last one. The last factor is, class?
The third factor that affects climate
is
elevation.
Elevation. Exactly. So those are the three factors. Elevation. Those are the three factors. How far a place is from the equator, the distance of places is from the equator, how far a place is from a large body of water, and the third one is elevation. Those are the three factors you are going to include in a homework that I will assign next week. So we finished with this. So please show me your notebooks.